Alright, video 2. It is time to bring the roof down. We have already sectioned 9 inches out of the van. I have since stitched the door pillars back together. Door pillars are solid again, along with the front here, and the front all the way across, and here, all solid. I have not stitched in any part of the rear yet, simply because this van is starting to shift and now I have to start correcting for shifting. If your cut ends right up here, follow that line down. That puts you inboard about 3 inches and 3 inches inside of the back of your van, and you have to start tilting pillars and adjusting for that where you're allowed. You cannot tilt pillars in here or here unless you want to start cutting door frames apart and adjusting the doors to match. So there's a lot that goes into this. I realize that the air conditioning and all the crap under the seat here does not need to be there. Neither does the shifter or any of this stuff. So theoretically, I can sit not here, but all the way down here. And that is a huge difference. And just run one center seat, the bench seat back here on the floor, person, still seats 3. So let's pull this crap out of the center here, drill out some rivets, whatever we gotta do, remove all the center crap out of here, put a seat in it, see how far down I can sit, see how much room I have from my head to the roof, and we're gonna start cutting. Let's get into it. With room made, new seating position is right where that shifter was. Sitting straight up, I've got 9 inches, and this is where the slope of the roof is, so it gets taller as you go back. So realistically, I can drop this down. The passengers in the back will still have plenty of room, even though they're sitting straight up. So if I recline the seat to a comfortable point, that's ridiculous, but I can drive like that, it's no problem. It's actually very comfortable. What am I looking at? That's crazy amount of headspace. That's 11 inches. Safely. Realistically, it's a foot. Now if I go across the stretcher, which is where the lowest point of the headliner will be, that puts me at, I'm just at 11.5 right there. I think I'm going to play it safe and take the 9. And that's where I am calling it for tonight. Honestly, not as far off as I assumed it would be. New day, new me. All right, tonight I just want to get something easy done. I went ahead and marked out the pillars. Now our initial cut was originally here. A lot of people would say, well, Matt, why did you weld that all up? Why didn't you just leave that open like you did the rear? And that way you could have folded everything over out of one spot. I did not want to alter the door frame that high up. If I would have folded that door frame in at that initial cut line, it would have went straight up and then kicked over, making me have to alter the door right in the middle of a flat panel on that door seam, and it would have looked terrible. Alright, let's see if we got enough there, or if not, we're going to have to rinse and repeat. That's looking actually, that's damn near perfect. Alright, so we're going to leave it there. I think that 5 mil is going to get us about exactly where we need to be once this wood's out of the way and it drops down. Sweet. All right, let me cut the other side real quick and we'll get this wood out of the way. So this is right around the time everybody starts pooing in their pants. That's not true. Actually, most people start pooing in their pants when they cut the roof off for the second time. Probably the first time. Don't overwhelm yourself. I have multiple cuts going here. I have the roof completely floating in the air. I have a cut on the pillar here, and I have a cut down lower. Can you see my hand? No, it's right below screen here, the lower cut on the pillar. Now, with this top lined up, with this seam lined up and clamped into position, that lower cut is nowhere near where it's supposed to be. That is okay. It's okay. Nothing's in line. This is you follow this in steps. Step 1 is this body line right here. We know this rear door line is the one we want to keep. We do not want to change this rear door line. That is what we're running all our measurements off of. So with this rear door line in place, I'm going to go ahead and take the paint off up here, and we're going to throw a couple tack welds on the front side and the back side of this upper cut, so that's in position on both sides. On both sides. Excuse me, I had Taco Bell. Door pillar tacked in place, very sturdy tack, and our rear end shimmed. We're up on jack stands and everything's resting on these blocks right here. This is final ride height, and this is the first time, final body height. This is nowhere near final ride height. This is the first time we're gonna get to look at the actual height of this van. 9-inch section, then we took 8 inches out of the pillars. After laying the pillars over, that is going to bring us down to our 8.5 to 9-inch mark. We took 18 inches out of the total ride height of this van. And there is a lot of fitting to do. There is some massive gaps, but it'll be no different than video 1 where you guys saw me. We'll get into it tomorrow. It's just a little bit more work, a little bit bigger gaps, but we'll get into it. It has been a few days. I am honestly not too sure where I left off. I'm pretty sure I got, yeah. So I welded out the bottom. This is already done. This was our first cut. This was our second cut. We laid the post over, tacked it. Did I weld the back side? Yeah, I welded it halfway around the back to still let it have play. Both sides? Yeah. Oh, I blended the other side completely. Awesome. Body work done on that one. A little bit of mud, good to go. So these pillars are in place. I left the front open, so there's still just a little bit of give because we want to make sure the rear is perfectly in line. That's going to be a nightmare, and that going back over here is going to be a pain in the ass too. I put a little bit of a weld right here to keep this in line when we drop the roof. So we're going to take that out so we can start laying this over. With both sides cut and able to be put into place, now we have to make sure the roof is correct left to right. I hung a plumb bob here, dead center on the roof, going dead center down here, and we are about ½ an inch to the left of where we need to be. Quick little ratchet strap here. And this is why I left the upper pillars in the front there a little loose and then weld them all the way out because of these fine adjustments we need to make. Alright, so everything is supported, so this should just pull the roof right over. Pretty much it. I don't know if one more click will be too much. That's dead nuts right there. I want to start putting some structure back in this. I want to put some tack welds on the bottom here to hold this pillar in place where it needs to be in line with the roof this way. There are so many components that you have to run through your mind when doing something like this. It's not like, oh, you're going to cut a section out and then drop it down. You've got 9 different angles that you're trying to work with the entire time. And it is not easy. So that's a pretty good place to stop there. We just went ahead and buzzed a weld around the corners, so this is solid in this direction. It's not going to move. I've got everything lined up as close as I can get it for now. These windows are good. This will all be exacted, but I've got it a little tacked down here, but it'll be exacted once I get to that point. Yeah. This van definitely took a whack on this side. From the bodywork we had up here to this pillar's definitely been kicked. Driver's side is beautiful. She's lining up. We got our curve like I showed you guys the other day. Nailed it. Even coming this way, we're not too far off with our line here. We can do some pulling after welding this together and pull this body line out that 1/8 of an inch to make that a laser straight again. We're real close on this side. Everything looks beautiful. This side though, she took a thump because it's definitely pressed inboard around this area and around this area. So somewhere in the window, which makes perfect sense now that I think about it, with all the rot damage and whatnot, the window being replaced. Oh, that makes perfect sense. I bet you they backed into something in this corner and bam, blasted that inward, blew the window out, had to replace the window terribly, not talking shit on anybody, but it did leak over time. And this is what we're left with, that you just didn't notice it over such a far sweep. They did a really good job with the body work. All right, well, I think I'm gonna get this all tacked in. I'll get this as close as I can, get it tacked in, and we're just gonna have to start hammer pulling that pillar back outwards and get it as close as we can so that we can mud the rest. And we're only doing a skim layer of mud, not a pound of it. Yeah, let me get this all tacked in. Let's jump up front here and start knocking out these pillars, which is gonna be a totally different cut, totally different idea, because we're already in line this way. We just need to shift that over, and I'm not sure how to do it yet. If I wanna reduce the door line and go that way with the top, or drag the window that way. Probably drag the window, because we don't match up at all down here, so this all needs to be refabricated. Huh. I'm gonna sleep on this one for a minute. We're probably gonna drag that window. Day 4,357. We spent over an hour today lining everything up and getting the roof exactly where it needs to go as far as the rear is concerned. We had to jack up one corner, then we had to check level on the roof, along with level on the floor, and then along with plumb, which it's just swaying a little bit. Plumb, level, ratchet straps to the ceiling, to the wall. Ratchet straps could come off right now. I've got everything welded where it needs to be. Plenty of structure back in there. This is a tool I literally just made real quick. It's like a $30 slide hammer from Harbor Freight. I tend to go through these ones. The rods aren't very strong for the 2-pound weight, and if you start cranking on it, you wear them out. So I just bought myself a brand new one. But they come with a coupler end, and then I just took a bolt and welded it to the back of a shitty old pair of vice grips, and that lets you grab whatever you want and pull it. No big deal. I cannot begin to describe to you guys how difficult it is to do this work and work around the camera, but I was very pleased with the results on the other side. This lip, I'm going to show you guys angles with my hand. This lip on the bottom here sits about like that, and then the top one is more like that. So it curved as it went down, giving us our poke here. So I'm just coming in with the hammer and a punch, and we're just chasing this inner seam to push it that way. Now that we've got our relief here, and now that we've straightened out our outer body line, we have this open gap that we can use to suck in this lower portion. I am gonna say that is pretty damn good, considering how not straight that panel is. Got a good lineup with the window, got a good lineup out here. Still got a beautiful arch. We finally got some arch in this panel. Looks a little off because we got some sheet metal sticking up. But yeah, I am very happy with that arch. A little bit of hammering, some welding, that'll be gorgeous. It'll match the other side. Yeah, we're definitely getting there. I gotta do a little more work on the window here like I did the other side, but we're getting there. And no fault to the people that did this repair. They really didn't use that much Bondo. You can see the cracks where the Bondo was applied and where the repair was done. Anytime you get into a whack, there is tons of tension put into that panel, and this thing probably looked really straight. I didn't notice it until I cut this open and released that tension, and it just kind of sprung into whatever shape it wanted to be in. Not to mention, we did just cut this thing in half 2 times and then put it back together. There's a lot of metal tension that we're fighting against. But the rear pillars are about where they gotta go. We're gonna do some finish welding on those. That'll be permanent. I can't do anything with this one yet, because this, I'm gonna have to shorten a door and get a door in here and see where the door lines are to see if I wanna move that top to the right or the window to the left, and we'll have to figure it out, or maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. This guy, we're going to finish out probably the next video. I want to keep this pillar loose. It's welded in here and around the other side, but I want to keep this loose just for a little bit of movement as we shift the roof around. I think that is an awesome few weeks worth of progress. I will finish this entire rear section out off camera. Next video, video 3, we are going to jump in and we are going to get this windshield folded backwards against, backwards to meet up with the van, get all those lines figured out, and then we're going to start figuring out. Next video, we're going to make sure every one of these pillars is 100% complete and this roof is all the way on. But there's our look, there's our ride height, and there's me being absolutely done for the night. See you guys in video 3. I love y'all. Thanks for following along. This thing's nuts. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, have a good one.